Hey guys, it's Justin here. Some of you might know me as JTrader on the DT Lab trading community, and some of you may also know that I run a S&P 500 trading room every single morning for the DT Lab community. We not only trade for the first hour and a half of the trading morning after the New York Open, we also meet a half hour before the Open to go to do our pre-market analysis and look at some of the areas in the market that make the most sense for support and resistance. And then again, we trade that first hour and a half using my proprietary futures trading system. And this screen you see here is essentially what everybody sees. I share this screen, we send it out, and it's, you'll see not only hear commentary from me, but you'll also see these 4 time frames that we're primarily watching for our trade setups. And just to give you a quick idea of what we're looking for, and one of the trades that's really one of our textbook trade setups in the room, and that is this pullback to our 200 moving average on the 512 tick chart. And what ended up happening here is, if we zoom in and take a look, the 200 moving average was right here at 45.75. The market got the bounce 1 tick in front of it. And what happened was, as we pulled back here, if you take a look at this whole swing up and you look at the retracement scheme, you'll see that not only was the 200 sitting right here, but we also had the 50% retrace within a few ticks of that area. On top of all that, we also had all the resistance in the market from right here. This is a very short time scale. This is equivalent to a scalp setup. And as you can see on the pullback, not only did we push right into the 50% retrace of this leg, and it was also that previous resistance, but we had the 200 sitting right there. The icing on the cake for this trade was the fact that we got this really nice local bullish divergence. So you can see that price pushed down to that lower low right into the 200, and when that occurred down here, our indicator pushed up to make a higher high. On top of that, over here on our 1-minute chart, an additional time frame was giving us confidence in that trade. So if we zoom back to the pullback to that low where we got the bounce here, you'll see we also pushed to a lower low compared to back here, but the RVI was up here at a higher low. So this was our trigger right here to go ahead and try this trade. So if I could just take a second here and highlight it, that was the trade right there. And the idea was to be long from, say, 46 here, looking to take profit right at the back end of the CP, giving you that 5-point trade. Again, this was just a scalp setup, and this is one example I wanted to show you. So if we were here in the trade room together, this is what we would have been seeing in real time. We would have been seeing the pullback. We would have been watching this retracement scheme of this current leg that we're in this pretty strong impulse out from the lows of the day here. And again, pulling back into this, we would have been watching the charts and noticing that we were forming a bullish divergence on the pullback into a level that made sense from not only 1 or 2 perspectives, but from 3 different perspectives here. So we had 3 levels aligning, and then we got our bullish divergence. And even if you didn't catch the extreme low at 46, you could have still jumped in at, say, by 47 there, gotten in and gotten your scalp right into the back end of the prediction point. Now, in our trading system, we're not only using retracements and previous price action and some moving averages, at least on our tick chart, we're also leveraging the prediction points themselves. So for anyone out there who's trading with prediction points, maybe you're even in one of the courses with Ephraim, which, by the way, our CEO and founder of Day Trade Like a Pro, an absolutely amazing trading coach. And he basically breaks it down and tells you the truth about trading. And that is the fact that it is probably more 90% of the game is psychological and emotional. And so he focuses in on that stuff. What I'm trying to bring to the table here is how to read the market and actually get some low risk trade entries, not only with prediction points, but also using some of these other key levels that we have in the market. And this morning, it's kind of interesting. This is Friday, December 17th of 2021, and we're on our quadruple witching day where we have all the options and stock and index options and everything expiring today. And so it was a little bit wonky towards the beginning of the morning. But what's interesting to note as well is we were watching this area of structure in the market up here that was basically happening all at just before the open, the New York Open. And so we highlighted this area and said if we start breaking below here, more than likely when the market comes back up, wherever it's going to bounce from, we're probably going to be finding resistance right at the back end of some of these swing lows back here. And if not right off the swing lows, somewhere in this general area, actually ideally right below the CP. So right in this little 2, 3, 4 point range, we were expecting resistance. And sure enough, market came right into that area and started selling off. We had a very similar situation as well down over here. Just to be completely open with you guys, we found support over in this area, got a bounce out, and then we broke to the downside. So as we came back up into this area, this was another area that made sense to potentially hold for the bears. And so this was a shot. We did get a pullback of about 3 or 4 points. I believe overall we got just about a 3, 4, or 5 point pullback there. And then the bulls jumped in at this point and started taking off. Now, on top of all this stuff, what's also interesting to note is the fact that this support or resistance level that we had that was previous support here then worked once again for a 5 point pullback here on the push up. So we pushed up into 25, pulled just below 19 into 18 there, and then tested it once again, had trouble, and eventually broke through. So these are the kind of things that we're doing in real time in the trade room every morning. And we're looking for these relevant areas for support and resistance. The final thing I want to leave with you is the fact that this level here that you see in a circle is a level that when we were all the way back down over here and the market was really starting to rip off of our prediction points down over here, I urged everyone to be careful, because when we push up into this area here, we have a huge confluence of things lining up. Not only do we have prediction point or our famous orange line, our 50% of the previous 4 hour, but we also had the back end of this trend line that we were watching, this trend channel, all through the overnight session there. So we had that. And then if we look at the whole push down from the all-time high that we made in the overnight session from yesterday, going all the way to the low we made, we had a 38% retracement also sitting right there. So look what ended up happening here. Let's go ahead and zoom back in. The market pushed right to that level, and right to the 38 retracement, which is that dotted line you see going across right there, and got a 13, 14, 15 point pullback. And then again, the bulls ended up jumping back in to push to a higher high. But that is a beautiful little scalp trade, able to grab again over 10 points to the downside before it came back up and pushed just a little bit higher. And as you can see right now, we're pulling back right into one of our prediction points. We're just about a 38% retracement of the leg here. This is a level that would make sense. However, we do have this line, remember from earlier, right around 26 quarter, 26.50 here, that could potentially also hold. So these are the kind of things that we're looking at in the market in our trade room every morning. On top of all this kind of real-time coaching, real-time live analysis of the market, we also do a weekly study session where we review the week, go over some of the best trade setups that we have and that actually worked throughout the week. And coming into the new year here, we're going to be doing kind of like a weekly course. So it will not only be a review of the week, but we'll be focusing in on one aspect of our trading strategy so that we can kind of get all the information out there on retracements, support and resistance, structures in the market, divergence, all that type of information. And so for the next year in the trade room, we will be covering all these concepts in depth and essentially giving you a year-long course into how to trade this strategy, how to read the markets, which I know is a big problem for many people. Where do I get in the market? Where am I going to have the highest potential for for the lowest amount of risk and for the highest potential for a winning trade? And so that's exactly what we do here every day. And this coming into the last 2 weeks of the year here, we're going to be offering a really great deal for anybody who wants to join us for an entire year. You will not only get a year in the trade room, you'll have access to my month-long course that we did in 2021 at the beginning of 2021. You'll also have access to over 40 hours of training videos. And then any type of course that I do give next year, you'll be in front in line. You'll be able to join us in any course that we have for offer. Again, for free. You'll be with us for the entire year. So if you stick with me over the next day or two, I'm going to release 2 other very brief training videos, and we will let you know the deal to join us here for an entire year, for the year of 2022. So stick with me, and we'll see it for tomorrow's video where I go over another trading concept here, and we'll get you that offer. Take care.